Thank you, friends. And I am here joining you all from Frontiers. Let me tell you before I say anything else. Now I know why they keep these periods not more than 40-45 minutes long. It's almost impossible to keep them past 40 minutes in their seats. They all have all sorts of reasons, restroom and this and that and thirst. But anyhow, first I will take few quick minutes to introduce myself and what I am doing here. And my background, my name is Kaleem Javed. I am originally from the country where I am right now, which is Pakistan. I was born in a Muslim company, and in respect of our limited time, I will be very quick. I went through all sorts of sufferings, some caused by my own choices that I made, and then caused by others who fell in like great deal of hatred towards me because of my decision to follow Christ. I was born in a Muslim family in the same country, and but our Lord and Savior has a different plan. And through His grace, I went through first a very extremely painful journey where I was trying to not only find my identity, but also His identity, who is called the ultimate creator and the author and the controller of this world and the universe. And during those years, I was because I denied to follow Islam anymore. I was mocked, I was spit on, I was beaten, I was refused to access to food or any other sort of very basic human rights. Again, we don't have that liberty of time. That period spanned from 1995 to 2002. And you can name a human affliction or suffering, and you will find that I went through that. But God has a different plan when I was during those years, when I was crying out in deep, deep, deep pain that why the Creator has abandoned me and why He does not reveal Himself to me. One day in year 2002, on February 2nd, I saw Jesus. I saw Jesus with my eyes open, and in my conscious mind, I felt His touch of His hands on my head, and He spoke to me that I am the life, the truth, and come to me and I will bless you with the life eternal. And the moment His hands touched my head, my life was changed forever. Though I did not knew who He was, I thought maybe it was an angel of God or God Himself. Though how come God can incarnate in human form? But I did felt that it was powerful, and all of my pain and worries and struggle was taken away. That was February 2nd, 2002. But right after that, when I was introduced to Bible, that same night when I decided to go and meet with my Christian family who has converted to Christ or Christianity before I did so, I was talking to them and they read the same verse, very verse from Bible, John 3:16, and I just accepted Christ that moment. I felt that I have known Him and He is my Savior, and that's how my life was saved. And that was not the neither end or the start of the story. Right after that, I have to go through persecution, which spanned over the course of next 10 years. Not 10 years, 8 years, from 2002 until 2010. During those 8 years, I was shot at, I was beaten, I was thrown in prison, I was charged with all sorts of hate crimes, though I never committed those. I was denied access to even very basic living conditions. But what was happening when I was going through all these sufferings before persecution, pre-persecution, pre-conversion or post-conversion, and now I can look back and I can see that God was preparing my heart and teaching me what it takes to survive being a Christian in among hostile nations. So I'm thankful that God has a greater plan for my life and spoke to my heart and brought me to the US, and I started living and working there. And in 2017, Voice of Christians was born there. While I was en route to come to Cary Christian School and pick up my oldest son, Kishan, who is in 8th grade this year. And I felt Holy Spirit is talking to me, speaking to me, and asking me to telling me that the years of labor are over and it's time to start serving full time in ministry. And that's how Voice of Christians started there in America. And but there is a long story. because the same work which Voice of Christians does, I was already doing under another different foreign banner called Christian Resource Center for last 15 years, which is Rescue Persecuted Believers. So to keep it short, I can just tell you that the forms of affliction I was made to go through. At one occasion, people who wanted me dead, they held our about 6-week-old son and the only child at time, and told my wife that they're gonna kill me, her husband, and that child right at that moment if we do not convert back to Islam. But God has a plan. He helped us escape that day, and still we are living. And now I have 4 children, and I live there, not far from Cary Christian School, and all 4 of them come and attend Cary Christian School. But today I have a special day, and I will be very quick, and I will take next maybe 4 minutes to introduce you to some of these precious people who have a few likes and many unlikes, with you all sitting there and looking at us through this medium called Zoom. There are many outside the room. There are like children and some of their teachers. So I am at one of our Living Hope schools, and these children, as I said, they have few likes and many unlikes us. And those few likes are that they are Christians and they are in a Christian school. But there are so many unlikes, and few of them are that they don't have access. Majority of them have death threat every day, every hour of their lives. They don't have access to a traditional school. They don't have access to very basic rights, human rights like freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and many other choices that every human should be given the right to make. And many of them are orphans, many of them are abandoned children, and many of them are ones who have endured extreme persecution. So I wanted all of you to really think as you hear just very selective 2 or 3 stories of 2 or 3 of these people around me, these students, these beautiful children, boys and girls around me, and think that differences, that they are the same humans with the same skin, same flesh, but in a different setting, in a different country, in a different region, which makes them exposed to entirely different life conditions. In most cases, those are life-threatening. And these children, this school is from K through 10. High school is considered grade 10 here, and we have 118 children. And I wanted to we don't have time to go over every child's story, though every single one of them has a unique story. But I will invite just 3 of them, and I will briefly tell you the story of their life in few sentences. And first in line is Nathan with me. I will ask him, come here, Nathan. Can you introduce yourself? And
hello, my name is Nathan.
And what grade you are in? What class?
I'm class 4.
So Nathan is in class 4, and you can go back to your seat. And they can just very basic English. They can tell their name, but he is one of these 118 children who have death threats, whose family have no access to even basic food. They struggle every day, and many of these 118 children even don't have family, don't have parents, don't have money to pay the fee or buy clothes or pay for the books. And that is the reason why Living Hope Center, we established Living Hope Center and Living Hope School in the middle of this area, this region, because we want to show them that we not only know about their situation, but we care, we love, and we want to provide something, maybe little, but something for them as a token of assurance that we not only are aware of their need, but we prayerfully consider to contribute towards their need. Second in line is Michelle. Michelle, come here.
Hello, how are you? My name is Michelle. My grade is 9.
Michelle was abducted, kidnapped, forced married, just as a cover, and raped by, you can say, multitudes. And she became pregnant at the age of 13. It still makes me cry. And honestly speaking, I want to go and punch in the face of every single one of those who did this crime against her, this child, this beautiful, precious child of God. So think about that where she will go if church will not care for her, if we will not care for her. And I don't have time, so I'm going to keep moving on. Third and the last on my list is Muqaddas. Muqaddas is a cultural name here, which means sacred.
My name is Muqaddas.
And which class you are in?
Fourth or sixth.
Sixth. So Muqaddas is in sixth class. She is now 14-year-old, but she was forced married. She's a victim of forced marriage, abduction, and forced marriage and rape ultimately. So these are one of those faces, 118 faces, who, if we will not provide for their needs, will not have even any hope in their lives. And that's where even our name comes from, living hope. And we know Christ is our living hope, and he has appointed us to be the same hope for others around us. So I mean, my own story is like that, and I know we are running against the time, so I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to ask all of you if you have any comments or any questions, so I don't spend time just randomly. Instead, I would love to hear from you all and answer your questions. Because my desire and prayer is that after today, every single one of you who is present here will become not an ambassador for Voice of Christians, not an ambassador for Living Hope Center, but ambassador for Muqaddas, ambassador for Michelle, ambassador for Nathan, who otherwise will not have any hope for their future. But with your campaign for them, they might have hope, they might have bright future, they might have access to higher education, they might be one of those leaders who can.
So the question is, what can these students do to help and support people like this and what you're doing?
Okay, so first and foremost, prayer, but then prayer should lead you towards participation. You can write notes, encouraging notes. You can talk to your family members, your parents around you. You will be soon, many of you will be soon leaving high school and heading towards college. You can talk to other people around you there and become, as I used word ambassador, you can become our ambassador. You can even encourage people to give towards the need of these people. We rescue, by the way, let me also, I forgot to emphasize on 1 and 4 term, which is the very reason for for our very existence, and that is rescue, Christian rescue. We rescue people around the globe, and sometimes we also, even our own workers, myself and many others who work alongside with me among several nations, we face death threats. But when we do rescue, they can be like, depending on the situation, sometimes they can be life-threatening. Sometimes even someone can easily lose life in their pursuit to save and serve one of these persecuted believers, whether children or adults. So the direct question was how you can help. So I wanted to give you a little bit of background also, that these children are just not like just everyday Christians, children who have privileges, and they are just here in this school for the one reason only, that they want a good education. No, these are the survivors of severe persecution and different forms of oppression and suffering. So question was how you can help, pray, participate, and even lobby for us, talk to your parents and tell them about your this ministry, and if you like something about our ministry, that and the area where you have passion, and share that area with them, that why you have that passion, and talk to your faculty there at Cary Christian School, outside world, whenever you are in a park or somewhere where you have opportunity and you feel like talking to others about Voice of Christians and about these children who are absolutely like all of us sitting there in Cary Christian School auditorium this hour. But then the realities of lives of these children on this side of aisle are entirely different. So you can do a lot. It's just based on, I mean, I cannot put out one thing there that give money, because some of them may have passion to write notes. So and write emails. or send a gift of books or a jacket you have extra and you tell your parents, I want you to give a jacket that I have never used in years. So there's so many ways that, absolutely talk to your friends, or then we have volunteered several people. We have 3 CCS parents who are our board member, including myself, and then many others know about us. Ask them how you can help, and they can help you develop the connection, and then we can really take.
So Isaac asked, when you hear about things that are happening, it doesn't really make you want to respond in love. It really makes you want to be angry and be harsh back at people. So how do you kind of justify that and your response?
Yes, so certainly we being Christians have our faith and the direction we develop and the love that Jesus has extended in first place towards us. But as humans in flesh, we do struggle. So it's to be honest, it's a mix of emotions. But we know that we cannot change by doing tit for tat, by doing what others are trying to do towards us. The only way to change the world is by showing them the love of Christ. And I have learned it hard way, because when I was rejected, I was abused, I was cursed, I was beaten. At last, that was the reality of my life. But now I can look back and see in the midst of all that, God has a plan. And he brought in right people who showed me the love of Christ. And that's how my own life was changed. And that's why I am sitting here in the middle of this most hostile nation on the planet Earth. And we have led thousands of non-believers to Christ by showing them the love. So, I mean, it's challenging. Sometimes we do have human emotions, especially when we see in front of our eyes something bad happening, especially to children who should be enjoying an ice cream cone or sitting in the comfort of their home or studying safely in a school, and instead they are abused, they are cursed, they are raped. So, I mean, it just make us feel angry. But then at the end of the day, our team never forgets that Jesus was himself crucified on the cross. And by the way, let me also, concerning the previous question, make one more comment. Prosperity can be destructive and also at the same time can be very productive. And here we are, and the prosperity, the form of prosperity we have is Christian prosperity. And the power of that prosperity, let me give you one example, because someone of you asked how we can help. Let me tell you, the cost of one restaurant meal for one of you sitting there can take care of the whole month worth of needs of one of these children, can provide that money we will spend on one meal in one average restaurant there can provide and meet the needs for whole month for one of these 118 students. So we don't need to sacrifice a lot. And you know, for this whole school, I need 150 people, 150 of you. There are, I think, 850 plus students who can commit or who can ask their parents to commit, whether $30 a month or $50 a month, and the whole need will be met, where these children don't have to worry about that they will be forced on the streets again. They will be provided with their uniforms, with their books, with their meal for whole month. So we can do.
Question is, how did the students transition out of the school into regular life, especially in light of being, persecuted for their faith?
Yeah, so these living hope centers, that the term we have coined, and for our centers, they are not a traditional school like any public school in the US or anywhere else, or even Christian school, Cary Christian School. We have crafted a whole program which not only meets the need of their education, but also it focuses on empowering their lives, enriching their discipleship, mentoring programs, then skill development. We, within the same building where this school is, we have skill and vocational development center, where we hope the students who cannot make it to college, we can teach them vocational, we can provide them vocational training so they can become self-sustainable. But many of them, I'm telling you, I have one student, 8th grader, and by no offense to my own child, but I hear him, Dad, can you please fetch me a cup of water from refrigerator? And I go like that. I was among these students yesterday, and 8th grader He was introduced to me, and I learned he has never been given a formal computer education. He developed a forex bot training program, and his family helped him to sell that for $32,000, and whole family's fate was changed. Can you imagine? An 8-year-old student without having any formal training in program writing or software development developed just with his interest and with his that competitiveness, which is the harshness of circumstances have forced him to face. He took it as a positive challenge instead of fussing around and saying that, oh, life is bad and why all these bad things happen to good people. We are Christians and still we have to face all this trouble. He took it as an opportunity and said, I'm going to prove this world my potential. And at the age of 8th grade, he was able to develop that software program.
So we're asking for some more specific information on, we have it easy here in America. It's hard for us to even imagine, maybe this the easiest thing that the students go through. But what is the true day-to-day, challenges and life look like for these students and in Pakistan in general for Christians?
I mean, challenges, I can take minutes and go through a score of challenges, but I will tell you it's they wake up and literally family members say bye to each other whether they are leaving for school or work or in their pursuit to hunt for opportunity to work. They know that they might not be able to see each other. Day-to-day life challenges. I mean, here we are talking about these people who don't know even the lunch will be provided. No sight of a Chick-fil-A hot meal served here. So I mean, it's just it's unfortunate. Many of them are forced. In fact, when we took over the school, the very reason why we decided to take over this school was already it existed because the organization which was running this school, they abandoned school. These children were forced on the streets, and many of them they even don't have food, so they were picking up food from the trash piles, like bones, and just trying to see if there is any meat still sticking around those bones. And I can share those pictures and videos. But again, we can spend hours and hours to talk about that. But my prayer is that after today's meeting, that we, Cary Christian School community, and I am part of being CCS dad, part of you all, that we will be able to adopt at least this one school, and then there will be hope, not only for these 118 children, but their families.
Thank you. I think we are out of time for this this group. So
thank you so very much. Thank you for your time, and thank you for this precious opportunity for me to come and share the real-time life and the challenges of these people from around the globe. God bless you all.
And a privilege for us to live where we live, that we get to have the freedoms. And you've also heard a call to action. If I'd like for you when you leave, like, y'all are gonna go to lunch, and I hope you have a fantastic time at lunch. I hope it's awesome. And sometimes when we go right after something like this, we go to lunch, then it's easy to forget the hard stuff because it's hard to remember. Like it's uncomfortable. We got to figure out what we're gonna do with this information. So my challenge to you is this week, I'd like for you this weekend, spend some time coming back to this topic, coming back to this moment, and thinking about what is God teaching you about in this. Shall you pray for the students? Mr. Zavid, who's over in Pakistan right now. Is it there's someone you need to invite to church? Is it maybe you flip in your thought process about going to church? Making your thought process about prayer and time just by yourself, because the chance you get to pray. Chance that you get to believe and to worship. So I just want to challenge you, because God's going to use each of us differently. There's no right or wrong to what's getting ready to happen. But I ask you to just spend a little time by yourself, contemplating what you've just learned, what you've just heard. And I know that if you have more questions, let's say you didn't get your questions answered, or you have more, I know that any of these speakers today would be happy to come back and have lunch in a way that you could ask more questions. Because I'm sure that they will come up. But I just want to take a minute, and we're going to pray for these students, and we're going to just spend a little time in prayer, and then I'm going to let y'all go. When we finish, We're going to let the juniors and seniors go first so they can head on out to lunch, being safe drivers. But thank you again. Thank you, Ms. Oswald, for your time today.
Many years on end.